Hey everybody, as you can see I am in bed. I spend a lot of time in bed because of pain. The pain that I am in is so severe that I am in a wheelchair. I'm very glad that Mom gave me this wheelchair because it's made me more independent and mobile. But the downside to um, having a wheelchair that doesn't fit in the house is that it sits outside, which means that it's vulnerable to the weather. And I've tried to cover it with the tarp that Mom gave me. Um, she wanted me to keep it covered. At first, I tried to keep it covered every day, but the wind kept picking that thing up and tearing it off of the chair and just flinging it. So I just got sick and tired of trying to wrestle with that thing. So now the chair sits outside in the cold, in the rain. Well, it is under an awning that does not leak. So even when it rains, um, unless the rain comes in at a slant, the chair is going to be fine. But it's out there in the weather, and it's not in the house. Um, the house is definitely not wheelchair compliant. It doesn't have doors that are wide enough. It doesn't have ramps, nothing. So that's the downside. But I am so happy to have a wheelchair. Um, Today I went to an appointment at the Core Institute, CORE, and they did an X-ray of my lower back, and the back surgeon talked to me about the X-rays. And if it hadn't been for having a wheelchair, I would have been in way, 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 way more pain. Um, because um, before I got my wheelchair, I would get a ride with Vail, and they send a normal car. There's no wheelchair service from Vail drivers. They use their personal vehicle. So when Vail sends somebody to get me now, they send a wheelchair van from some other company that's contracted with them. So it's not a Vail driver with their personal vehicle. And I would go with my cane because I was getting rides knowing that I was going to be walking a very short distance with my cane. I can only walk a very short distance. Well, today it was not a very short distance. Um, my driver and I were completely lost. We had absolutely no idea how to get to the Core Institute, and I wound up in the maternity ward at the hospital instead of at Core Institute. And it was in a completely wrong building. And thanks to my wheelchair, I was able to keep up with uh, the people who were walking at a very fast pace that I could not possibly match with my cane. Um, and there was a lot of walking, way more walking than I can possibly do even with a cane. No. So I was very, very glad to have a wheelchair to get around in today. Um, I did manage to get to the Core Institute, and when I got there, I found out that the wheelchair compliant door didn't work. I pushed the button to open the door, and nothing happened. So I had to get real close to the door and knock on the door. And then one of the people inside came and opened the door for me, which was nice. But it's not okay for the automatic door to not work. And I'm in a bariatric wheelchair, which is pretty wide because I'm pretty wide. And I've discovered that a lot of doors are only just barely wide enough to admit my wheelchair. Wider than the doors here at home. There's no way I can get my chair inside the house. No way. Can't happen. Um, so I find myself wishing that they would um, make doors wider. Why can't they be very wide doors? Why can't we have just one set of doors that is wide enough to have both ingoing and outgoing traffic of pedestrian traffic, which would be plenty wide enough for me? Why can't you do that? Same thing at the church building. The doors are all just barely. I mean, I scrape by. I scrape through every time. And I don't think I should have to. I don't think that um, it's wheelchair compliant to have such, you know, a thin aperture for the doors. They should be wider. Fewer doors, wider entrances, please. Not just for me, but for anybody who needs to get through those doors in a wheelchair. Um, so, what else do I want to talk about? Oh, I'm using a tablet that Mom gave me. It's an Android tablet. Because the phone that Mom gave me, the Samsung Galaxy S7, died. It's a brick. It just completely stopped working, and there's nothing I can do about it. So that sucks. So, oh yeah, the back surgeon talked to me about the X-rays. He said that he didn't see anything abnormal in my X-rays for my spine. And you know what? That's really frustrating because the spinal cord impingement and the disc degenerative disease are making my life hell. It's causing extreme pain. And I've had injections in my lower back to help, and it only helped for about a week. I was told that I'm not supposed to get an injection for more often than like once a month or something like that. And I'm like, well, it's not worth it. It's only going to help for about a week, and then I don't get it for another month. Screw it. So I haven't had another set of injections. And the surgeon said that he doesn't think that I'm going to need surgery on my back. He doesn't think that that's the appropriate treatment. He wants me to see a nutritionist and lose weight because I'm too fat. And I'm like, yeah, tell me something I don't know. I'm fat. I weigh like 398 pounds. I'm fat. I know. I get it. I hate it. And there's not a whole lot I can do about it because the exercise required is too painful. All those people who do bodybuilding and other stuff, they go, exercise is great. It makes you feel good. I'm like, not when you're in horrible pain all the time in your freaking bones and joints. This isn't muscle pain. This isn't the same thing at all as muscle pain. I know muscle pain. I know the pain of weak muscles because I have lots of weak muscles. I have muscular atrophy. My muscles have atrophied from lack of exercise. And I've got a lack of exercise because it freaking hurts. It 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 hurts bad. For example, when I've been sitting at the computer in the front room for about 3 hours, that is my absolute maximum. That's when the pain level is so bad that I simply cannot continue to sit there. And it doesn't matter what I'm doing. It doesn't matter if I'm, watching videos or emailing people or doing stuff on Facebook or playing a video game or whatever. It doesn't matter how much fun I'm having sitting at the computer. It doesn't matter. The pain is still the same. And I have to stand up out of that chair, which causes a lot of pain itself and causes me to scream because it hurts. It hurts really, really, really bad. And then I have to use my cane to limp to my room. And sometimes my knee decides that that's a moment to not work very well, and then it's way worse than just my usual limping. And I have to uh, get my second cane, or I have to get my crutches or something, and then get to my room where I can finally lay down on my bed. And then I sit down on my bed, and the act of sitting hurts a lot in itself. And I sit there screaming for a minute or two, and then I lay down, and the act of laying down hurts a lot, which causes me to start screaming again. And then I lay on my side or on my back with my bed raised, uh, my head raised, and my feet raised, so that it will relieve the pain I'm in. The horrible, horrible pain. Right now I'm in pain, but not nearly as much as I was when I came into my room earlier to lay down. And the frickin' government thinks that I'm able bodied and able to work 40 hours a week like everybody else. No, I am not. Just because I have a wheelchair doesn't suddenly make me able bodied. It's the opposite. I'm too disabled to work, and I have been for the last 9 years. 9 years of my condition steadily getting worse, not better. There has been no marked improvement in my condition over the last 9 years. My back problem, my severe back problem, wasn't a problem when I first became too disabled to work. The disability that was causing me to be unable to work was because of my knees, which chronically dislocate. Dislocating your kneecaps hurts. The pain in your knees from having dislocated your kneecaps many, many times is about as bad as walking around on a broken leg. And having to deal with that all the time is extremely painful. So when I was working, I was not doing a whole lot of walking. But I was still able to sit for about 3 hours or so before the swelling in my legs got so bad and the pain in my knees got so bad that I absolutely had to get up and go lay down. Now I've got really bad back pain that is even worse. than my knee pain. How am I supposed to get a job? What company is going to hire somebody dealing with the crap that I'm dealing with? And what kind of job are they going to hire me to do? Yeah, sure, we'll hire you to work for 3 hours maximum per day because then you have to go lay down for hours to recover from the pain. Yeah, sure. What job? What job will let me do that? Can I go across the street to Fry's and get a job pushing shopping carts around with my wheelchair for 2 hours a day or 3 hours a day or whatever? Will they let me do that? Will they let me lay down when I need to relieve the pain? Stupid mosquitoes. Why are there mosquitoes during the very cold winter months? Don't they go dormant? What the frickin'? Stupid mosquitoes. I hate mosquitoes. Little blood-sucking vampire bugs. So, I would rather be on the computer right now or in the living room watching TV or playing a video game or doing stuff on Facebook or something. And this is my cell phone, ZTE, piece of crap, constantly crashes and does not run the apps. It's annoying. Annoying as heck. I want a new phone. Okay, well, I guess I'm done. I don't know. I don't really have a whole lot to say. Have you enjoyed watching my video of me in bed? Mm-hmm. On my tablet? Mm-hmm. It's an Atlas Pro S. This tablet. I don't know why they called it an Atlas. It doesn't seem Atlas-like. Alright, I guess I'm done.